this is Lisa, and thank you for joining us on this installment of Making the Shift, the interview sessions. Today we have with us Clevon Don, a young up-and-coming musician, artist, and he's going to share some life lessons. Yes, at his young, ripe age, he's going to share some life lessons on how he's gotten to this journey, where he hopes to go, and just some takeaways from where he is in his life and his dream, in the pursuit of his dream, and on how you can pursue your dreams. Welcome, Clevon.
Thank you for having me. I really appreciate you making this happen for me and making it possible.
Yeah. So a little bit about Cley. Can I call you Cley?
Yes.
All right. So a little bit about Cley. Cley is a friend of my daughter's, and I have come to know him as a young man who is truly in pursuit of his dreams. He really has a desire to become self-actualized, a desire to live his life full out. And if you've been with me for a while, you know how I believe in taking the risk, because your life is worth living the risk. So tell us about your music.
Well, right now I'm about to release my first project since graduating college, the Preload. It's dropping January 20th on Inauguration Day.
All right.
Of this month. It's been a really long journey since graduating. And I think after focusing a lot on this project for about a year, and all the ups and downs and things I've been through throughout that time, it really helped me create and build this project to be what it is right now.
Okay, so tell us, what's the title of the project?
The Preload.
Oh, it's called the Preload.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. So you mentioned you have some ups and downs. So what brought you to this point?
Well, I guess how a better question for just kind of rephrase that for me would be. No, wait, hold on. Let me.
So what I want to know is, and what I would like for you to share with our audience is, how did you go from graduation to this part where now you're getting ready to drop your new release? Okay. What were some of the things that brought you here? Mm-hmm.
Well, upon graduating, when you get a degree, you get pressure from your family and everything. Like, you went to college all this time. You're supposed to graduate, you're supposed to get a real job. Get that 401k. Use that degree and everything you learned in college, which I don't barely remember half the stuff I learned in the classes in college. I just remember all the experiences of being in college that really helped me get to the point of of going through those hard times. Trying to figure out what you're gonna eat today, or and a lot of people kind of college seem like it's not like it's like supposed to be like this easy place to be at, and like when you get there, it's like you go to college, you got everything you need. You shouldn't have any worries in life, but it's like it's difficult, trying to get to that finish point. And then once I got to that finish point of finishing, it was like, this isn't what it's all cracked up to be. I don't have jobs calling me off the hook, offering jobs to me. The place where I was working at throughout college, they didn't offer me a full-time job. So I was like, I've been working, for this company for years, didn't get a full-time job.
So let me ask you this: what is your degree in?
Marketing.
Your degree is in marketing.
Yeah.
Okay. So you said you don't remember half the stuff that you learned.
Yeah.
You just remember some of the experience.
Yeah.
Okay. And another thing you said was that your family's like, well, I sent you to college, and you're supposed to get a quote unquote real job,
right.
And get the 401k and all of that.
Right.
So with that said, do you feel that you pursuing your musical career, is that a real job for you?
100%.
Yeah.
It's a real career. It's just like if you want to relate music to like a corporate job, right? Mm-hmm. You have to put the work in if you want to move up in it. It's really like a pyramid scheme. There's people at the top, and then like coming down from there, you have to work your way up to get to that top of the ladder.
Right.
And it's not rocket science. Like I think where I was with music 2-3 years ago, like I wasn't putting any work in. You know what I'm saying? Like, I wanted to do it as a dream. Oh my gosh, I want to do this. Just like anybody that has a dream of like, want to do anything. Like I want to be the best basketball player, the best football player. You could play football, you could play basketball. You might go to the gym, be good at it. But if you're not out there like trying to find the best coach, trying to find the best team to play for, or the best resource to get you where you want to be in the NBA, or connect with the right people to network and get there, then it's not going to happen.
Okay.
And I think that's where I am right now, where it's like I understand that I have a talent that, you know, I'm talented and I just have to put the work in to get to the top, like I would in the corporate ladder.
Okay, I like what you said. You have the talent, but you have to put the work in, because there are a lot of talented people. There are a lot of you out there who want to be, star musicians. There are a lot of you out there who, who want to be pro basketball players, pro football players. A lot of you out there who want to be, you want to draw and paint and be renowned for that. So what sets you apart? How do you know that your talent is going to take you to the place that you want to end up?
I think what sets me apart is not only the music, what I'm speaking about in the music. At this point in time, like, I think there's just a lot of, like, the industry itself, like, almost tries to, like, brainwash you with the stuff they put on the radio. Like, you know, this is what, when these kids listen to the music, like, this is how my life should be, or, like, this is what I aspire to be because these people have money. They're rich. I don't have to rap to get money. You know, that's 100%. I don't need to. You know, but I feel like I think for me, where I don't focus on making a whole bunch of money in this, right? But like I do want notoriety, and I want to be able to have interviews like this to get my word out there and speak to these youth that think like, oh, you know, like a lot of people dropped out of college to chase their dream. You know, that's perfectly fine. And I think if you put in that work in and you have that focus, and you know that, like, you know, that there's a higher purpose for you and you're chasing your dream, you 100% do that. But not everybody has a choice and option to be able to do that. You know, being able to say, like, I can leave college and go chase my dream now. And I think that for some kids, that they, like, you have to understand that pursuit of education and just being in college, and going back to your previous question about, like, you know, not learning everything, is like the network that I built and the people that I've met in college is really what got me to the point I am. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Where I am.
Right.
So being able to, like, have that pursuit of education and, like, being able to, you know, just even start and find out what you love and you're passionate about, and then once you find that, okay, now you built this network of people and you want to leave and do that, do it. You know what I'm saying? And
that actually, that's so on point with a lot of things, I believe. So as a life coach and working with 18 to 25-year-olds, that time period is a time of testing, a time of figuring out, what is it that I like? Do I really like this major? If I didn't go to college, and I'm working at a job, do I really like this job? Do I like what I'm doing? What is it about it that I like? Who am I? Figuring out who you are, because you spend, all your years up until 18 listening to what your parents and your teachers tell you to do, your mentors, your aunts, all of them. But then you're out on your own, and everybody thinks just because you turn 18, oh, now I'm an adult. Okay, I'm on my own, and I can do all these things. But you're out there, and you're just like, well, what is it that I'm supposed to do? So some people they're like, well, I do like college, so let me stay in college. Other people are like, well, college is okay, but it's the experiences, and that's truly what it is. So it is a time of testing to figure out who you are and what you want to do and where you want to go. So that's really good. I want to double back a little bit and talk about your parents. So so they weren't necessarily on board with the whole I want to be a musician kind of thing.
Not at all.
So
Not at all.
so how did that conversation go? Where is it now? Where was it before and where was it now? Was it a conversation that was easy to have before or difficult to have before, and now it's just an easier conversation now? How did you?
I think this conversation. So it started around my junior year. I remember I was like walking after class, and I was like, Dad, I want to drop a mixtape. All my life I've been around music. I love the music. I want to try. And he was like, go ahead, do what you want to do. You know what I'm saying? You're in college now. Like, you're grown. Like, you understand who you are. But I think when that conversation really happened was his last summer though.
Okay.
In that intermediate between, like, getting the real job. I got fired from the first job that I got from college.
Okay.
And of course, when you get fired from a job, your parents are like, oh, what are you gonna do now? Like, are you gonna go back and get another job, or well, what are you gonna do? And I didn't even tell them the truth about me getting fired. I told them, I was like, I quit. I just didn't want to do this anymore. And they were like, and then by the end of the time they found out that I got fired. But so I got fired, and I told you before, like, that story about the guy that came up to me, and he was just like, God loves you, and I was like, I never met this guy before, you know what I'm saying? Like, and the first, I'm talking about coming out the door, I'm with my box in my hand, the first thing somebody comes up to me is like, God loves you. Never met this guy before, and I was just like that right there just instantly was like, man, this is a sign, like, I'm really supposed to be doing something. And you know, so that whole summer, I was like, man, I'm not going back to the corporate world. You know, I'm gonna chase my dream. I'm only gonna focus on music. I'm gonna shoot music videos all summer, and this is gonna be me now. You know, this is my new brand, and it was the worst, hardest summer I had ever since my freshman year of college. The worst summer, you know. And my parents were like, so you're gonna go back and get a real job? You're gonna do something where you're gonna hang around the streets with your friends and shoot music videos and do music all day? And then at the end of the summer, me and my dad had a real conversation. Like, it's not for him to understand me, because we grew up in two different generations. You know what I'm saying? We grew up in two different whole generations where it's not up to him to be able to understand how I think, the way I think. You know what I'm saying? Because he wasn't afforded the same opportunity to be able to think the way I think.
Right.
And had the chance to be able to say, oh, well, if I want to go chase this passion or dream of mine, I can do it. But he opened that gateway and that bridge, and through his education and through him working his butt off, for me to be able to have a choice to be able to do what I want to do, you know. And then about the end of the summer, after struggling for a long time, and God found an opportunity for me to go back to, you know, get a job, I figured out that I can really do both. There's no like, you know, I think where people are in this person, like if I go work a real job, or you know, I go to this corporate world, first, I'm not gonna be a starving artist, you know. I refuse to be. And you know, if I go into this corporate world, I can't chase a dream anymore. You know, I gotta work for somebody else. But no, you gotta understand that, like, you take a leap of faith by going to pursue your dream, but you utilize it and you take everything that you can from this system that's gonna help you get there, and apply that to your dream, and apply that to your focus, and focus on that, and you'll get it.
Exactly. You see why he's here. I mean, he has a very good understanding of who he is right now, and that, I believe, is the first step. You have to know who you are, and you have to believe in your dream and in your passion. And even if your father, your mother, your sister, your brother, if they don't believe in it, if they say, when are you going to get a real job? You say, well, this is a job, and this is a career that I'm building. And it is possible to work at a job for someone else, as well as work on your own job, as well as work on your own career. It takes time, it takes dedication. As an entrepreneur who has been in this field for 20 years, but been on my own for the past 4.5 years, it is not easy. There are sleepless nights. There are times when you have some doubt, when you're just like, wait a minute, is this really what I'm supposed to be doing? I can't tell you how many times I've asked God, is this really what you would do, or do you really want me to go back and work for someone else? And I'm sure he's tired of me asking him that question, so I decided I was going to stop asking him. But I just say, okay, you just have to keep plugging away at it. You have to keep pushing. And just because you went to school, but you're not working in the field that you studied, that doesn't mean that you can't take away some of those things. You know, the networks and the connections that you've made, the conversations with other people that you've had, even with some of your professors. Even the marketing is going to help you in, you know, with your craft and with your music. So so you have to look at the opportunities in the experiences and the surroundings that you're in, and figure out what is it that I can use. And sometimes it might not come back for 5, 6, 7 years. You're like, you know, I mean, I do workshops all the time, and I tell people, you know, if you're not ready to receive this information, you won't receive it. But at some time or another, it's going to come back to you, and you might even forget that I was the one who said it. But you're like, wait a minute, I heard that before. That makes sense to me. And it's fine. So you kind of filed it back, but it comes out just at the right time. So that's really good. So I want to digress for a minute. I want to ask you, who are your 3 top artists, your favorite artists?
Of all time? Biggie Smalls.
Biggie Smalls, okay.
Biggie Smalls is my number one. And I have this conversation all the time about top artists. It really does change, like, day to day, or like week to week. Kanye West, of course, my number 2. And Andre 3000, number 3. Okay. And you know, yeah, that's
okay. All right. Totally different from who my top 3 rap artists would be, like Heavy D, Grandmaster Flash. Oh, yeah. All right, I'm showing my age a little bit. Sugar Hill Gang, you know, those. I'm like, okay, I can.
Sugar Hill Gang.
You like Sugar Hill Gang? That's right. That's right. So okay, all right. Some of y'all out there feel me. Y'all know. Okay, so you said Biggie Smalls of all time. So what about him inspired you?
His storytelling, his ability to it's crazy. The first time I ever heard a Biggie album, I was in 6th grade. I went to my dad's closet, and like he had a whole bunch of CDs, and I was like, oh my gosh, what are all these CDs? And like, you know, it said "Ready to Die." Of course, when you're like a little kid, I was like, you're like, well, I wonder what that's about. Put it in the CD player, and the first thing I heard was "Give Me the Loot," and I was like, oh, like it just like it was crazy. Like it
just blew your mind.
Blew my mind. How like this guy could portray this like story so beautiful with his flow. I think his flow is like the really reason why like he's my number one. His flow is not insane. Like I don't think anybody has a flow like Vicky.
So Clevon Don. So you said Biggie Smalls was your, he's the one who really got you into this. That's your favorite artist of all time. 100%. Okay. So what was it about his flow, and do you try to kind of match some of his flow in your music?
I wouldn't even say I try to match any. I don't think anybody can match Biggie's flow. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
First and foremost, like I don't think anybody can do or emulate or have swag or like just cool, like just be as cool as Biggie was when he was on the track. Like he was just so smooth. You know what I'm saying? I think I definitely try to emulate smoothness. Like I said,
yeah.
Like or like just like I like how loose he is with when he's on a track. Like he's real loose. He makes you laugh sometimes. He has some real good punchlines. I think a lot of collection of music really influences my style, I guess you would say.
Okay.
I don't necessarily get it from just like Biggie or just Andre or Kanye, but for a lot of artists I listen to, I think definitely influenced the way I go into my musical writing or try and fit in certain lines in certain ways to make a syllable here, around a syllable here. Like, I think it takes a lot of practice and a lot of studying of like the greats to be able to make good music.
Okay, yeah. All right. So tell me about your shirt here, Dreamers.
Yeah. I mean, it really, I think it speaks for itself. Just the shirt and the brand itself. Dreamers is a clothing brand and line started by Rashad McCray, my line brother at University of Charlotte. And he started this clothing brand to pretty much say that there's a lot of people out here want to chase their dreams. A lot of people that want to dream, and that everybody can. Everybody has it in them to be able to achieve their dream. Everybody has this in them. You just have to bring it out of yourself.
Okay.
And it's just for like all of us, like kings and queens out here, like all us black kings and queens. That's why it's gold. To really just keep chasing our dreams and don't let anybody try to stop you or tell you differently.
All right. So along that line, I know one of the things when I'm working with my clients, 18 to 25-year-olds, one of the things that I've noticed primarily about the young men is there is a failure to thrive because there is a fear of failure. So do you have that concern that you might not make it?
No, I love failing. Honestly, I think.
Okay.
I think failing is honestly the best thing that can happen to anybody. Like even like with my little brothers, they don't achieve a goal or like they don't do, they lose a game. I'm like, dude, like that's so good. You know what I'm saying? You gotta learn from that, and because you learn from each failure, right? You learn something that you don't make that same mistake again.
Exactly.
And so you just build on top of your failures and keep building and building and building. They're kind of like bricks, right? Like a foundation. You just keep building failures, and to get to that little pinnacle where you want to get to, you have to fail to succeed. I think people like
absolutely.
There's this book, why like A students work for C students, right? A students they're not used to failing. They're not used to getting, being down. They're used to always being on top. But if you're used to being down, when you get to the top, you never want to lose that top spot.
Right.
So it makes you more hungry.
So you have to put in the work. You understand that just because you had a failure at something, it's a learning. It's a learning process, and so not to make that mistake again. I remember hearing the story about Heinz and how they came up with Heinz 57 because the first 56 times he failed at his recipe. The recipe didn't come out the way he wanted to, but it was the 57th time that it was like, oh wow, this is really good. And so it's really important that you understand that just because you try something, you try it once, you try it twice, you try it 5 times, you try it 500 times. That doesn't mean that you're going to get it right, but what you're doing, it's kind of a honing and shaping process that you realize, okay, I know not to do this because when I don't do this, this happens. You know, when they set out to invent electricity or figure out electricity, you know, there were so many other things that they learned along the way.
Right.
I mean, the reason why we got microwaves was because they were working on something with NASA. They didn't plan on coming up with the microwave. It just came out of it. Exactly. It came out of it. And so for those of you who are out there and you are afraid to dream, you're afraid to try your dream, I say try it. Go for it. Look at Cley here. Go for it, and you learn from the mistakes that you make. That is the part of it. Nobody gets out of this life without making mistakes. Right. So, President Obama is getting ready to leave the office, and this past week he gave his final speech to the American public. And one of the best parts of his speech was encouraging young people that this is your time, this is your country, and to get involved, to not be disheartened, to not say, oh, well, the people who are in there now, or, the status quo, well, I don't need to be a part of that. But to say you actually need to be a part. If you see something that's broken, fix it. If you think that the police department needs better police officers, that they need better commissioners, then become a police officer. If you think politicians are old and out of touch, go into that field. But whatever you do, whatever your plan is, whatever your dream is, to do it for yourself, but do it for the larger community. I think that was an encouragement, just like you said with your shirt here, dreamers, for you all to dream. I mean, because this is your time. And to take what it is you feel that you were placed here to do, because everyone has a purpose. Sometimes people find it sooner than others, and that's okay. But as long as you're continuing to pursue that, so you're pursuing your dream, and you are getting ready to drop the preload, and so it's not just music for you, but it's music with a message. Right. So tell us a little bit about preload. You said it's dropping on the 20th on Inauguration Day, and where our audience can find it.
Yeah, so you'll be able to find it on SoundCloud, and also anywhere you type in Clevon Don or hashtag Clevon Don or at Clevon Don on any social media, SoundCloud, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Clevon Don. My website, clevondon.com, is where I'll be releasing it on there.
Okay, Clevon is
CLEVON, Don, DON.
Okay.
So I've been calling Clevon my entire life. It's Clevon. So CLEVON, DON.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And so tell us about Preload.
So Preload, it's gonna be a series. The Preload, and then we'll go loaded, reload as we go on.
Okay.
But Preload is everything before Atlanta. Everything that was going on into my life. Stemming from college, high school, middle school, where I would say I really found myself going into that high school transition.
Okay.
And going into college, so it speaks about everything pre-Atlanta, pre-moving here.
Okay.
College experiences. Speaks about things that I've seen in the community in these last few years going in my life with systematic oppression and racism. It speaks about Clevon before he got his life together. When I thought it was cool to be around, gang affiliations or to be in a hood quote unquote nigga. You know what I'm saying? Or a real nigga. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. All right.
Whatever that definition of what people thought that was beforehand, and it's just talking about that kind of stuff and kind of just breaking the mold. And it's just different parts of me,
Okay.
I think a lot of things make up who Clevon Don is. And whether it be the educated Clevon Don, whether it be if you mess with me, I'll kill you, Clevon Don. To be completely honest,
just know we're good, right?
Yeah,
we're good.
We're definitely good. Just definitely different. I think there's multiple sides to a person.
Right.
So.
And I think that is, I think that's another sticking point that I would really love to bring out and share with our audience. The fact that, we kind of remake ourselves. And people think that who you are now, I'm sure some of the people from high school who knew you, they were like, oh, so you can't talk to me now.
Right.
But you're just on your dream. You're just on your path, and it's not like, hey, I can say, hey, how you doing? But I'm keeping it moving because I need to do this. You do you, I'll do me.
Right.
But people like to remember you where you were, and they like to keep you in that. But as you continue to live and get older, you'll see, you'll think about this time. You're like, man, that seemed like it was so long ago, but it feels like, you feel like it was yesterday, but you're like, man, I learned so much. So, as long as you keep learning about yourself, as long as you keep taking lessons from your different experiences, you're just not going to do anything other than continue to soar. It's when you get stuck in one point that you that you have this failure to thrive, that when you're afraid to break out of that mold that you or other people put yourself in. So, I definitely thank you for being here on Making the Shift. I just want to remind our audience some of the key things about this is that the people who you want to support you, they might have to be silent supporters because they don't understand your path. And as long as you understand it, you have to you feel like you have a talent, you have to keep working at it, because just because you're talented, the world is filled with talented people, but you have to put the work in. What sets Cley apart from the next musician is that he's willing to put the work in there. So you have to work on your dream, you have to work on your craft. And the other thing is, when you find yourself in an experience like college, when you realize, I don't think I really want to do college. I really think I want to do something else, and it's totally off the beaten path. You have to believe in it. You have to know your why and know where you want to go from there. And it's not always, as I've said before, it's not always a 1, 2, 3 easy step. It might be 1, 25, 1,000. You go back to 2. You go to A. Asterisk. All these other things. But if you know where your end point is and you just keep pushing forward, you'll get there, and just stay the course. Just keep believing in yourself. So I thank you. And I can't wait. I'm gonna have to add you to my Sugar Hill Gang list. I'm gonna have to put Clevon Don, in my playlist.
I hope I can keep up with them.
So
I hope I can keep up with them.
I'm sure you can. And one of the other things is I appreciate you being a young man, a young black man who is aspiring. Not only just you have this dream, but you're willing to put it and give it all you have, because life is worth the risk. This is all we have, and you're supposed to go for it. And so to live this life full out. So I'm really proud of you, and I'm just excited for you. So all right, well, thank you for being here.